Hello, 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 and welcome back to the B Horror Corner. You already know what we're doing right now. We're gonna go over week 2 of the ultimate Halloween movie list that I have created for this October. So let's just dive right in. Okay, so for Thursday, October 8th, we are back to our classics, which means you can choose between watching the original Halloween, which obviously you can't go wrong, it's Michael Myers, and Jamie Lee Curtis, who we stan, or you can go ahead and watch the Blair Witch Project. I will say this about Blair Witch, I watched it, 5 years ago, and I just did not like it. I didn't get it. I was bored. Then last year at the Austin Film Festival, they held a screening for it. So I was there in this giant theater auditorium that could fit like 2,000 people, and it was huge, but not a lot of people went to see it. So there was only like 100 of us in there. And it was just so empty that watching the movie the entire time felt like terrifying. And I understood why it was scary, why it's just so uncomfortable to watch. And now I'm like, oh, it's great. I get it now. So both options are fantastic. Friday, October 9th, we have Oddities and Unknowns. We aren't doing anything too crazy this time. You can either watch 68 Kill or Freaks of Nature. Now I know both of these movies aren't hugely well known, so I'll go over each of them. 68 Kills, Matthew Gray Gubler. That's like already enough reason to watch it. And basically the entire movie it starts off with him and his girlfriend trying to steal money from somebody that has $68,000 so that they can run away and have a new life, because right now they kind of live in the dumps. Then things go wrong as the girlfriend kills the family. Then they're on the run with this other girl that they've kidnapped. And basically the entire movie is like a hot mess of gorgeous people running around and killing other people. Now, Freaks of Nature, I don't know why or how I discovered this movie, but it's great. It's basically Nicholas Braun, Vanessa Hudgens, what's his name? Ed Westwick, the guy that plays Chuck Bass. And they're in this world, there's vampires, werewolves, aliens, and zombies, and they all coexist in this town. And it's sort of just like the crazy shit that happens when aliens come down and start attacking and everyone starts turning and they all go against each other at this like high school. Saturday, October 10th, family friendly. I feel like this is like one of the best family friendly days I have planned for the whole month. You get to choose between 2 amazing classics. You can do either Scooby-Doo, the live action movie that has literally every awesome celebrity in it, and I don't know how they got such a good cast in this movie. Or you can watch Halloweentown, which there's just not competition with Halloweentown because it's a Halloweentown. Now, I didn't list a double feature, but if you really wanted to, Halloweentown and then Halloweentown 2 Calabar's Revenge right after, that sounds great to me. Sunday, October 11th, we have our randoms. This day ended up being 2 comedies that I chose, so you can either choose between watching Happy Death Day from Blumhouse, which is just, I don't know why I have an attachment to this movie, but I really do, or you can watch This Is the End, which, again, there's nothing to be said here. It's just such a wonderful cast that you cannot go wrong watching it. Jonah Hill being America's sweetheart, but being an asshole the whole time, and then having a demon inside of him and getting exorcised by Jay Baruchel? Like, who thinks of these things? For Monday, October 12th, it's the actual category of comedies, so we're just diving right back into that. You can choose between Heathers, which even if you don't want to watch the movie and you want to watch the musical, just go find it on YouTube. It's so well done. Christian Slater, Winona Ryder, just wow. Or you can sit and watch Shaun of the Dead, which I'm happy we're getting like into the British comedy section of this list, because Nick Frost and Simon Pegg are just like the dynamic duo that you need during Halloween. Tuesday, October 13th is when we're starting to get real dark real quickly. Your choices are Saw, which again, Saw, classic. Saw number 1 at least is awesome. Or you can watch The Human Centipede. And I feel like I already need to just discuss and address the fact that The Human Centipede is, in my opinion, the worst horror movie I've ever seen. And by worst, I mean it's like one of the only horror movies that has actually scarred me. Normally, none of them scare me at all. I just laugh the whole time. But for some reason, something about Human Centipede, I think it's the fact that I'm terrified that someone's gonna kidnap me and make me a middle. There's just something just too horrific about the Centipede for me. And it's just a really dark movie. Don't watch the second and third. It's just too dark at that point. But those are your options. Finally, for Wednesday, October 14th, for our ha 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 what okay category, we actually have one of my favorite horror movies of all time. I guess a controversial choice because I know a lot of people don't like it, but I think it's brilliant. You can choose between watching Tusk, which is the movie I'm talking about. I would die for Justin Long and Kevin Smith. It's so freaking hysterical. We'll talk about it in a second. Or Into the Dark Pilgrim. So Into the Dark Pilgrim is one of those Hulu movies where it's a part of the series where each holiday has its own movie. Basically what happens is this family is like fighting a lot, and so the mom invites pilgrims that reenact Thanksgiving with you as if it's the olden times to come over to their house and do it with them. And basically the pilgrims start going crazy and killing the family, and it's the family trying to escape the pilgrims. Don't get me wrong, it is one of the funniest movies. It is not super serious, and it is a great time. So don't discount it for being a part of this series on Hulu or something like that. It is so well done. Then back to Tusk. I've pitched this movie now to so many people, so I'm sorry if you're hearing this from me again. Tusk is a movie where Justin Long, love him, he is a podcaster. And basically his friend, Haley Joel Osment, and him, they realize they need to go to Canada to record this dude that they're gonna talk about the podcast with. So he goes up there alone. And when he's there, something goes wrong. He can't use that podcaster anymore, so he needs to find a new story while he's there. He finds this letter in the bathroom at a bar that's like, I have stories to tell. You can stay at my cabin, blah, 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 blah. He's like, cool, let's go. So he drives out to this mansion with this old man. And he's like, can I interview you for my podcast? Let's just talk, get ideas, whatever. And during that whole process, the old man drugs him, basically kidnaps him. Justin Long wakes up to see that his leg's been completely cut off and mutilated. And then throughout the rest of the movie, as it progresses, Justin Long gets mutilated more and more and more. And you find out that the owner of the residence needs to turn him into a walrus so that he can fight him in a walrus suit, and then it's just two walruses fighting each other. See, I wasn't lying. That's what happens. It's so good. It's from my man Kevin Smith, and it's just a phenomenal time. Body mutilation at its finest. Okay, so that is it for week 2's movies. If you're interested in the caption, I've tried to provide where each movie is located, whether it's for free on Hulu, Shudder, Netflix, Amazon, or if you have to rent it on like Xfinity. I tried to make a running list. Some of it has been changing, so it might help, it might not. Hopefully some of you are keeping up with this list or watching along with me and my parents as we go through this entire month of October and Halloween spooky movies. Until next time, thank you for watching, and next week you will see list 3.